want to bring in Democratic Congressman Joe Crowley of New York. He was in that meeting. In fact, all the video we've been showing, Congressman, has you prominently featured walking down the hallway next to President Obama. It's my understanding you actually invited him to come up to Capitol Hill today. You introduced him when he got there. Yes. So give us the atmospherics, would you? If we could have been in that room and witnessed it ourselves, what would we have felt and heard?
Well, Kate, I wasn't really aware of the historic nature of the visit myself for the outgoing president to come visit our caucus and to say farewell to us and to give us advice and thoughts as he exits. But I think really what this was about was an opportunity for the president to say thank you to us. We've been partners over these last 8 years to help bring about change, positive change for the American people on a myriad of issues that he talked about, including the Affordable Care Act, and things that we still need to fight for, like civil rights, like ensuring that immigrants are properly cared for in this country, and a myriad of other issues, including making sure that big banks don't get back the power that they had before to really slight Main Street. So it was really remarkable to have him there and to hear his advice and be pumped up by him as well.
Pumped up, so there was an energy there.
There was certainly an energy, a lot of yes we cans, yes we dids, and fired up and ready to go.
Yeah.
So he's bolstering us up a bit, I think, in terms of understanding what's ahead of us and being ready for that.
Well, let's talk Obamacare for a second, because obviously that is one of the first things, at least on the Republican agenda. And look, Republicans have the votes to strip some of this stuff, to basically dismantle, as Casey was just reporting, some of Obamacare. Right. They campaigned on doing this. They're going to try. How on earth do you stop them? Or do you even try?
Well, look, they've always been looking for political leverage on this issue. I think sometimes when you campaign on something, it may not be why the people voted for you. And I think this may be one of those issues. I think that the American people think Obamacare is popular. It's positive. And so I think they're big. I think if I were them giving them advice, I'd say be careful where you tread. Once you make a move on this, you then own it. We have done all we can, and we will continue to do what we can to defend this and protect it. But once they move on it, they will own it. And if they simply go to repeal like they've done 60-plus times without replacing, and once one person who now has affordable and quality health insurance loses it, it's on their backs, on the Republican backs, and no longer on Democratic backs.
You know, I'm not surprised to hear you say that it's on them, because that has been a theme today, not just from your party, Democrats saying the Republicans are going to own it, but you saw the tweets earlier today from Donald Trump, where he brought up who's going to own it as well. He said Republicans must be careful in that the Dems own the failed Obamacare disaster with its poor coverage and massive premium increases like the 116% hike in Arizona. Also, deductibles are so high that it is practically useless. Don't let the Schumer clowns out of this web. Massive increases of Obamacare will take place this year, and Dems are to blame for the mess. So aren't you Democrats also treading on thin ice here? I mean, you could be blamed if you don't help fix it or help replace it with something.
You know what, quite frankly, Kate, over the last 6 or so years, they've controlled both the House and the Senate. And they've never taken an opportunity once to try to help improve what was a good law and make it a better law, help make health care better in the United States. They never tried to do that. What they did do is have 60-plus times to repeal the entire act, never offering a suggestion as how to replace it or how to fix it. You know, that doesn't sound like legislating to me. So if they're going to whine and complain about it now that they have both control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. We really feel bad for y'all.
But Americans are going to get caught in the middle of all this, right? All of us who have health care plans might be impacted, even if we have employer health care plans, by some of the rules involved in Obamacare. Certainly the people that have Obamacare are going to be directly impacted. So I guess I wonder about the politics here. How, how do you, moving forward, how do Democrats handle this if it's going to upset the apple cart for a lot of people?
I can tell you that this weekend and weekends to come, we're going to be taking action. We're going to be holding events in our districts, talking to our constituents, talking about what will happen when they do repeal Obamacare, what will happen in Republican districts to people who across this country who now have affordable and quality health care, 20 million people. When they lose that opportunity, what it means, not only for them, but for the entire country, it will be all on Republican hands. We have no legislative power at this point. Republicans control both the House House, the Senate, and the presidency. All we can do now is play defense, and we're going to be vociferous in that action. We're going to defend what we have created, what we helped create, and what we think is in the best interest of the American people.
Democratic Congressman Joe Crowley from New York, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kate.